Hello my sweet friends, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking all about my 2022 goals. Hello everyone, nice to see you. My name is Adele if you are new. Today I'm going to be sharing some of my goals for the new year, which I'm really excited about because I love goal planning and goal setting and stuff like that. And I haven't done that in a while, and I didn't do it last year for 2021, so I'm excited to sit down, plan my goals, and actually share some of these goals that I am looking to accomplish in 2022. I'm going to be splitting them up into categories. I've got writing, reading, YouTube, and then home, health, and happiness. I also have decided to do something that I've done in previous years, again, not for last year, but that is setting a word for the year, sort of like an intention for the year. And so this year I have chosen the word focus to be my sort of intention for 2022. For me, 2021 was a lot of losing myself, especially at the beginning of the year. Again, if you are new, I did kind of take a little bit of a break last year, or this year, 2021, from YouTube. Basically since January, and I didn't come back until like October, and that had to do with a lot of personal issues going on in my life, a lot of mental health problems that I was getting help for, and just a lot that happened all at once. And this year is obviously, things are a lot better for me now, but the first half of this year was not good. Probably the worst year of my life. So like I was saying, last year was a lot of losing myself, losing who I was as a person and as a writer and as all of these things. And then from like the second half to now, a lot of finding myself again and sort of building this new version of Adele that I want to be, and not necessarily rebuilding who I was, but creating and building from scratch a new Adele for me to fall in love with. So going into 2022, I just kept hearing the word focus come to me, and I think that's just because I really want to focus on all of these new traits and new goals and new endeavors that this version of myself is pursuing and going after. And so yeah, a lot of sort of grounding myself this year, trying to recenter myself, and then coming into this new year, I just really want to focus on these new aspects of who I am, and these new things that I have said yes to, and these new things that I am becoming, and just focus on those things, and like really sit down and like tap into who I am as a person, if that makes sense. Alright, so we're just gonna jump right into the categories that I laid out. Within each one I have just a few goals that I am looking to pursue in 2022. That rhymed. So first we're gonna start with writing. That is a big part of who I am, that is a big part of what I do, especially here on YouTube. So I have high expectations for myself in the writing department, but as y'all know, this year's been really hard, and it's been really hard to get back into writing and getting back into that routine. I want to set goals that are realistic, that I actually think I can achieve in the new year, still like taking into account how I've been this year and sort of just how my progress has been this year, while still being able to challenge myself and set up goals that are realistic but still I have to work towards, nothing that's going to be too easy. So number one, I want to finish draft one of Project DA. Project DA was last year, 2020's NaNoWriMo novel, and I've had a lot of people ask me where it is, if I'm going to finish it. I did win NaNoWriMo last year and I wrote 50,000 words, but the draft wasn't quite complete. I love that story so much, and I'm really excited to keep working on it. So first goal within writing, I want to finish draft one of Project DA. I almost said Project Orion. I know y'all are waiting for that. If I'm really thinking about it realistically, but still in the mindset of sitting down and working towards it and actually like being consistent and making it a habit, I think I will be able to finish Project DA in either February or March. Next goal within the writing category is start working on draft 2 of Project DA. It is the perfect sort of, again, maybe this is me thinking like loftier than where I am right now, but I think it would be like the perfect sort of debut novel for me. I want to be traditionally published. I don't want to self-publish, and it feels like just a good standalone novel that would be a great debut novel, just whenever I think about it in my head with this fantasy author Adele. So I would love to continue to make progress on that one and just continue to work on that one. Next goal within writing is finish draft 1 of Project Ben / Project NYC / I might just be calling this Project Romance. I've been talking about this story, I've mentioned this story in the past, like throughout the years, but I've been talking a lot more recently about the story in November, this past month, just because I started kind of working on that one at the end of the month, and I have fallen in love with it all over again. It's a story I started like probably 2018 or something. I haven't really talked about it super often. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I've mentioned it here and there, but I've never really like talked about it. So I would love to keep working on it. I would love to finish draft 1 of that, and I would love to share that with y'all. And it is like a contemporary romance, which is something I don't really write. I prefer like speculative fiction, you know, and I'll throw romances in here and there, but like I've never written a story where the whole plot is a love story between 2 characters. But I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I'm excited to see where it goes, and I think it's just something that's gonna be fun to work on throughout these other writing goals. Also, I cannot for the love of God come up with a name for this project. Like I said, I was calling it Project Ben, but then I decided to write like dual POV, so I'm gonna have 2 characters. So like I can't just name it after one character now. So then I was like, oh, I'll call it Project NYC because it takes place in New York, but I feel like that's a bit of a mouthful and I don't think I really like it. Someone else suggested Project BenYC, which I kind of thought was cute, but if you'll have any suggestions, let me know. And then I'm going to briefly talk about Project Orion because I get questions so often about Project Orion, where it is, when it's coming back, and especially since I've come back from my break from YouTube and break from writing. And so I'm going to answer your question. It's not going anywhere. I love that story to death. That is truly like my baby. That is a story that I've gotten so far on, and I love it so much, and the characters mean a lot to me. It's just one I've spent the most time with, and it's not going anywhere, I promise. I am going to be taking a little bit of a step back from it this year because, like I said, I do have a goal of being traditionally published, and as I've been thinking about it more, I don't think Project Orion would be a great debut novel, especially since I want it to be a trilogy, and that's not usually something that is accepted first for like a debut novel of a new author, new unknown author. But I am going to be working on Project Orion. Where I'm at with that story right now is I'm between drafts because I am going into the 3rd draft, and I have beta reader feedback that I'm using to go into the 3rd draft. So my goal with Project Orion is going to be, I'm going to be holding off on it until more the end of the year, and I'm going to, my plan is to start reading that beta reader feedback again, going over that, going over my notes, reading my notes, just like really getting myself back in that world, because I would love to work on draft 3 for 2023. So those are all my writing goals. Now moving into reading. I have been in a bit of a reading slump lately. I don't really know why. I just have been very busy, lots of work. Just reading has not been one of my top priorities, and I would love to change that because I do love reading and I used to read a lot. And so taking all that into account, taking the reading slump into account, my goal for 2022 reading wise is to read 30 books, at least 30 books. Ideally I wanted to set it at 50, but I did want to also try to be realistic and remember that I have probably read 7 books this year in 2021, which is not nearly as much as I would like to read. And so realistically 30, ideally 50. And then like subset goal of that one is to use my Goodreads account more often. I know Goodreads is like a huge deal in like the writer reading community. Comment down below, let me know if you use Goodreads and what your, I guess, username is, and like we'll add each other, I guess. I'm still kind of figuring it out. I've had a Goodreads account for a while, like 2 years or something, but I never use it, and I feel like it's just kind of confusing to learn. But I would love to use my account more this year and actually use it to track my reading progress. My username on that is Adele X Marie, just like my Instagram, if you want to go follow me. And then my third reading goal, which isn't actually about reading, but it's like related, is all of these books behind me. It's a mess. I want to organize them alphabetically because I love organizing things alphabetically. So by the end of the year, which I mean, I think it'll, if I just sat down for a day and did it, that I'll have it done. But by the end of the year, I would like to have my bookshelves organized and alphabetized. Moving over to my YouTube goals, I don't like making like subscriber count goals because those numbers are something that is outside of my control. It's not something that I can control. I can control my content that I put out, my consistency with uploads, you know, the quality of my videos, and that in turn will influence the subscriber count, but I don't like setting any hard and fast goals on like numbers of subscribers, so I don't like doing that. But just something that I would like to do, since I've taken my break from YouTube, my growth on YouTube is like gone. My channel has been pretty stagnant this whole time because I haven't been posting, so it's completely understandable. But I am really wanting to like up my game again this year and kind of get back to where I was with, you know, consistency and fostering that sort of active community, I guess. Ideally, I would love by the end of the year to get to a point where I am uploading twice a week. I loved doing twice a week consistent uploads, and that is something I can control, and so that's something that I can work towards that would increase that growth and sort of get me out of that stagnation that I feel with my channel and my numbers, because like my numbers are nowhere near as like steady or just increasing at a steady, consistent pace as they were before I took the break. And again, that's completely understandable, but I am feeling motivated to get back to a point where that growth is consistent. Speaking of consistency, I would also like to have consistent live streams. I don't know yet whether that means consistent, like it's these set days every month or every other weekend or whatever that looks like. I just kind of want to feel like I'm on a more consistent schedule when it comes to that kind of thing. And then also, speaking of live streams, I am possibly thinking about starting to stream on Twitch, so we'll see how that goes. I'm still gonna be doing like writing related streams here, or I might do them there, I don't know. I'm still planning on doing writing streams is what I'm saying, but also thinking about adding other content on Twitch. Alright, so those were my writing, reading, and YouTube goals. Now moving on to home, health, and happiness. We're going to start with home, and some of the goals I have for that is get on a consistent cleaning schedule, because I feel like I have really been slacking on cleaning, and that's not something new necessarily, but I just can't ever seem to stick to any sort of consistent schedule when it comes to cleaning and like upkeep of my home. 2, cultivate an environment that I love and am proud of. Like my office, for example, I love it so much. That's a new development within the past few months here in 2021. And so stuff like that, I love that so much. I want to continue to grow that into the rest of my home and cultivate these environments that I am proud of and that I love spending time in and that foster continuous growth and stimulation. I love that kind of thing, and I think that's important. And then number 3 is figuring out a better system of organizing and storing inventory for my store. My boyfriend and I are small business owners, and so we have a lot of inventory in our house, and sometimes it's hard to organize everything in a way that is easy to one, go through and find what we need, and 2, is like presentable somewhat, just like not, it's just all over the place. So just basically finding out a way to clean all that up and make a better organization system for storing all of it. Moving on to health, I have a bunch of random little goals that I would like to do in 2022, and so some of those include cooking more often. I love cooking, and I used to cook a lot more, but lately it's been so busy, we've had just so much going on that I haven't been able to cook as often as I would like, and I'm definitely not getting the nutrients and stuff that I need. So ideally I would love to get back to cooking maybe at least 4 times a week. Another one is just implementing more movement in my daily life, daily activities. I love movement. I feel like it's just a good way to get more exercise, I guess. And I would love to get back into yoga and stretching, and I just love moving my body and movement, and not necessarily just like working out, but just incorporating more movement into the things I do. And then part of like getting back into yoga and stretching and stuff like that, I've got 2 like stretching goals. One is to be able to do the splits. I used to be a lot more athletic in high school, which at this point is like 6 years ago, so it's like I can't even keep bringing that up. It's like a valid anything, but I used to be more athletic. I used to do dance, and I used to be really close to the splits. It's something I've never been able to accomplish, but I used to be really close, and I'm not very close anymore, and so I would love to just get back into that habit and be able to do the splits by the end of the year. I think that's enough time, and I think that's just a great thing to try to accomplish. And then another one is being able to do a back bend again. I used to be able to do a back bend, can't anymore. So we're gonna work towards that. Another one is working on my posture. I feel like I don't have the best posture, and I also have terrible back problems, so it doesn't help. So yes, working on my posture and making that more of, why am I not focused? Being more aware of how I'm sitting. And especially as a writer, as someone who sits in front of a computer for a long time, very often, that's very important to me, and I would love to have better posture and just maybe get rid of some of those back issues that I do have. And then another one with that is get consistent, regular massages, which is both, I guess, a goal and an excuse for me to get more massages. And then the last one is a bit more like specific, but I am going to try to see an ENT doctor, ears, nose, throat doctor, because I have some issues that I've had for a long time that I should probably try to get figured out soon. And then moving on to the last category, which is happiness. First one is less of a goal and more of a just keep doing what you're doing, Adele, and that is continuing therapy. That has been something that has been a huge help in my life, and I've been in therapy for years, so this is just something that's keep going, keep doing it. I want to acknowledge that and not just like, you know, oh, that's not a goal anymore, because I think that it should still be considered a goal, because I want to acknowledge that and be proud of myself for that, and just keep telling myself that that is a good thing and something I should keep doing. I would love to get back into more artistic endeavors. I really miss things just like doodling and drawing and calligraphy, embroidery. These are all things that I love that I miss, and I haven't been doing them in a long time. And I'd love to get into, you know, new things like just painting, or I've always wanted to do pottery and I've never been able to, and that's something I kind of have to take a class for because like the equipment is really expensive. But I would love to just like pursue those things that I've always wanted to do, that are more artistic. And so some of those new ones that I want to do is painting, pottery, and pole dancing. Another one, which is a huge one that I'm gonna start working on now, is creating a work-life balance a schedule or routine, and this is also advice from my therapist, so it's something I gotta do. I tend to just sort of throw myself into my work, whether that is the business or YouTube or writing or anything else, and so I need to get better at having that balance in my life between like my work life and my home life, and it's a bigger issue when you are self-employed and you work from home, and it's not like you can separate yourself from your job because you're living in it. And I also think I'm going to be making a whole video about that. Let me know if that's something y'all would be interested in seeing, sort of just creating a work-life balance schedule and kind of starting to stick to that routine and make it a habit. Let me know if that's something that would interest you. Prioritize self-care and take rest days. Those are super big. Kind of goes into like the work-life balance thing. That's something I could definitely implement a lot more, even though over the years I've definitely gotten a lot better at that, specifically at prioritizing self-care. Sometimes it's hard for me to take rest days because I'm wasting time, I'm wasting a whole day, I'm basically just wasting my life away, just sitting here doing nothing. But I've also come to learn the importance of doing those things, and how they can strengthen other areas of my life, and strengthen areas of work, to have that self-care and have that rest time. So that's something I would love to implement a lot more in 2022. And then my last goal is say yes. And this is a huge one that I've always talked about. I know I've talked about this in past years because this has been a continuous goal of mine for years. A lot of people have trouble saying no to things, especially to people, you know, and they take everything on and they just want to do it all. I'm the complete opposite, specifically when it comes to new opportunities and risks and things that make me happy. I have a tendency to say no a lot because it scares me, and I do have anxiety, and that can be something that is hard to overcome. So I will just continue to work on that. Saying yes to things is something that has been such a personal internal struggle for me, but 2021 has been a huge lesson in that for me. I've gone through so many things, like experiences this year and relationships, that just I would not be where I am right now had I not said yes to a lot of different things in my life this year. I wouldn't have had the experiences that I have now had I not said yes. And that is important to me. And I want to continue to foster that and foster an environment in which I do feel safe and comfortable saying yes to things. And I know that doesn't mean I'm not going to be afraid, because that fear is always going to be there, but it's sort of about how I can move forward with managing that fear and managing the anxiety. And I would just love to go into 2022 with the mindset of saying yes to new things, new opportunities, new experiences, new people, new relationships, just saying yes to life, to things that I want to do, things that make me happy. So those are all my goals for 2022. I hope y'all liked them. Let me know what you think. Comment down below. Let me know some of your goals for the new year and what you're doing to accomplish them. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Hit the bell for notifications. It helps a lot with the channel. If you are new here and are just coming across this video, please subscribe. I would appreciate it tons. And yeah, those are my goals, and I'm really excited to go forward with them and start accomplishing them and growing with that. And I'm really excited to take y'all along with me. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next one.